We're going to go ahead and do a reading specifically for twin flames, for the divine feminine, for the divine masculine, to see what is going on. Our moon is in Virgo, and it is sextile Jupiter, which is in Cancer, which is bringing a very grounding energy as we're dealing with this earth, water, sextile. It's bringing a lot of positive energy and kind of a internal cleansing vibe as we are preparing for our Libra new moon coming at us. But let's go ahead and start with the reading for the divine feminine. Make sure you guys are checking out my website, sparksofdivinelighealing.com. This is just a general collective reading, so only take what resonates for your specific situation. I actually make these so that you can take a lot out of these. So just take what is for you when you're watching these videos, but they're very helpful. So if you're needing a one-on-one reading, make sure you're booking them on my website. I have lots of twin flame readings, twin flame coaching, and I am an energy healer. I have a ton of healings, clearings, and activations on my website. So we're going to start with a reading for the divine feminine, just to see what is going on, what's coming up now, because, and I think it's Tuesday that I keep on messing it up, that Libra new moon coming at us has a lot of karmic undertones. So I notice in the energies that we're currently in right now, some of you guys have a little bit of stuff that's coming up that might be affecting your relationship. For some, it could be even throwing things off. It just kind of depends, but it's definitely coming up for you to kind of move through. And I put a post up this morning talking about how twin flames have a shared energy field, and I really want to talk about that because this is how you're able to pick up on so much more past the physical. And it depends on your gifts and abilities and how you sense and perceive energy. But for some, this is like feeling directly what's going on with your twin flame masculine, because this is a reading for the feminine to start. You're feeling them. You might be feeling what they're thinking towards you. You might be sensing what's going on with them. You might be feeling their moods and what they're going through. For some, this can come through as knowing or thoughts in your head and psychic downloads. For other people, it could come through as dreams and messages coming through. So you have a shared energy field. Now, this is a good thing because when you do the work to clear out old and negative patterns, you're doing that for both sides of you too. It helps with the overall connection and dynamic. Now, twin flame has a very mirroring and reflective quality, so sometimes they may highlight areas you need to work on. So if you find yourself kind of complaining lately, those areas are exactly what you need to look at within yourself. Oftentimes it's you voicing unmet needs that you're needing to look at. So you have some things coming up. It could be things you need to look at within yourself, or, things that are kind of coming up on your own healing journey. Okay, then I'm just going to put this out there. The whole point of twin flame is not to tie you back into the matrix. It is to assist you with your ascension. And so this is a very, very powerful connection, but I think a lot of people get confused at it because we have this powerful pull, this internal, I don't want to call it a battle, struggle between your ego and your soul, which your soul is giving you all of your lessons, and your ego is kind of very connected to the mental and the mind, and it's like everything you want your life to look like, and sometimes it's going otherwise, okay? And so this is a very soul-based connection, which is meant to help you out of old narratives, old stories, old programming, the matrix, like everything that's been holding you back, areas you need to heal. These undertones can come up within this connection because this is a connection that's coming into your life, and usually it shakes up your foundation and your belief system to help you out of the matrix. And this is programming at its finest. So sometimes people get very confused that this is a connection that can stir up whatever karma you're still holding on to, because that's always your greatest obstacle here on earth and what you need to kind of work through or look at within yourself. So we have this first message: love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Make sure that you're pouring into yourself right now. Like literally, you feel areas that need it. You're not real happy with your life, areas of self. You're needing to really, really pour into yourself and not into this other person right now. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't, okay? But make sure you're taking care of yourself first. You are the foundation for obviously yourself and your own energy, but also for this connection. So the more that you're feeling good, you're going to bring that feeling good energy into this connection. And it's going to help a ton with obviously, and I've been saying this to people a lot lately, like just getting yourself feeling amazing, feeling great, back on track. We call that alignment, by the way, making sure that you're in alignment. Sometimes we can become out of alignment, and we see that happening a lot lately, where some of the things that you used to resonate with, you just aren't anymore. This is a sign of growth. You're letting go of old patterns, old connections, old situations in your life because you have outgrown them. So you have a lot of growth coming up very fast for the person on the other side of this reading, but you're needing to make sure that you're shifting into that higher resonance and higher alignment. You can be in alignment today, and by the end of the year, we're going to need to move to a higher frequency even because of the collective ascension that's happening in our time too. So you're constantly needing to work on your energy and work on raising your frequency. The best way that you can do that is by, and we're going to get there, healing, right? Obviously healing, but by feeling good, feeling in alignment. And sometimes this is doing little things that fill your cup. So we have a lot of toxic connections, okay, which I try to help you guys to heal your relationship no matter what's going on. But you guys, some of you have had kind of toxic connections in your past because you were not doing that level of work on yourself. And as you're working on yourself, you're attracting healthier dynamics and healthier connections. One of the telltale signs that I see with dealing with toxic connections is the element of control. And you're not able to do anything. You're not able to move like you need to, right? Like you're not allowed to go anywhere. You're not allowed to leave the house. Like it's not funny, right? You're not allowed to do this. You're doing everything wrong. And those are signs of obviously toxic connection. Now we're trying to elevate into healthier connections. So you need to also, and I don't want to say be careful, but that's the message coming through, be cautious moving forward that you are really, really living your life and living your life to your fullest potential. And how you connect with people comes after that. And so a lot of you guys have poured a lot of attention, love, care, taking care of other romantic partners, and you did an amazing job, but it came at a little bit of self-neglect. So you are being guided to heal any ways that you're not showing up for yourself fully. And twin flame is the opposite of karmic connections, where you do all that toxic stuff, right? And stop living life. You're living the life the partner wants you to be living. You lose yourself completely and they're happy. That is not what's going to help you in the twin flame journey. The twin flame journey is the opposite, that when you begin to work on your own purpose, mission, passions, things that bring you joy, hobbies, creative projects, whatever it is, right? And you begin to live life more, generally, this actually creates a very magnetic energy for your person, for your twin flame. So you're being guided to make sure that you're showing up for yourself fully. Now, this isn't for everyone, but a lot of twin flames may have to navigate splits, soul splits, or even separation spaces. And I feel that is to encourage you to live life to the fullest if you're there navigating that. And it gives you a chance to work on yourself by yourself. And a lot of people, that's foreign to them too, and they don't like that. But when you're able to do that, it's going to help you to show up differently energetically for yourself. Everyone's at different places with this though. But no matter what, make sure you're pouring a little extra into yourself right now. You might be needing it. So we are in one of my favorite seasons. I think we're like Season of the Witch. We're in October. We're in a nice time because the veil is thin. So we get a lot of clarity. And when I talk clarity, I mean like on your soul lessons, what to be working on, what to be healing, what to be doing. Like the year is going to be over in a couple of months. What are you working on between now and then is a very important theme coming up right now for the Divine Feminine. What do you need to take care of? What do you need to clear off your slate by the end of the year? And this is an important part, clearing things, clearing energy to begin to elevate our frequency and to manifest more. So we still have some blocks that are coming up, and it just kind of depends if those are ones with yourself, or for some, these might be things coming up between you and your twin flame that need to be dealt with, or worked through or worked out so you can both shift into a higher frequency. If you are, I don't want to say stuck, feeling things aren't moving, like stagnant, not having the results that you want, I think it's important for these people to raise your vibrational frequency, knowing your twin flame will meet you on these higher timelines. Some of you guys, and I see this a lot with the Divine Feminine Collective, some of you guys are needing to really, really work on your own life because it will take you to a higher timeline, and your twin flame is there waiting. They're literally already there waiting for you on some type of sense. So it depends on what. Okay, you have some major healing family issues coming up. Doesn't surprise me, because we have whatever is out of balance being highlighted with Libra season, especially with this new moon. It's bringing a pretty gentle, I don't say delicate, but I guess delicate vibe. This weekend's a little bit of a rest weekend, and that's because we've been receiving a lot of high frequency energies, and oftentimes these things are coming to the surface. So we think we're good, okay, until Ascension 2025 hits us or whatever. So, but when we're receiving a lot of these high frequency energies, old fear-based survival patterns are rising to the surface. This is why, like, if you're fine 1 minute, spinning the next, purging the next minute, you're okay most of the time, but there's times when you're going into the fear coming up, or the worry, or the stress. This is exactly what you need to, number one, stay out of. But if you're needing to go into these areas within yourself, needing to heal a little bit more, there's something going on connected with your upbringing. I call it your origin story, where you come from, your family stuff that you're still healing. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Some of you guys have wounds with the parents. Forget what happened when you were a child. That's a big part of it. But where are you at now with these, I call them your people, your parents, right? Where are you at now? And it doesn't have to be like, you know, the connection itself, like calling them up and talking to them. Within yourself, how do you feel now? And I think a lot of our healing takes us into forgiveness karmically. And so sometimes we have things we need to let go of that are deeply rooted and woven into our family line. And sometimes this is literally getting to the root of traumas that happened when you were younger or as a child that the body is still struggling past now, currently, or karmic things that keep happening. So when we haven't done that inner child work to release things with our parents, sometimes these can creep into our connections. And I don't think we want to hear this, but I'm going to put it out there. Sometimes you guys are role-playing old stories with your partners that are very much, they originate from your childhood and old wounds and things like that too. So if you have an old wound and you haven't healed it, it's going to come up. And usually in our love life, because we go deepest with these people, right? So for you, we have a lot of root chakra energy coming up. I already did a video before this, and I was talking a lot about the root chakra. Healing your root chakra, and this is just basically old patterns. Some of you guys have been playing out old stories and narratives that starring you, but they don't serve you. They're just not great. And sometimes it's ancestral patterns that are really, really deeply ingrained in yourself now. Like you're really working through a lot in our time. And like, I don't want to say people haven't been doing this work, but they haven't been probably. And so you might be the first one in a really long time in your family line that's like doing this work and becoming conscious of this work and like really, really leaning into it. So old fear might be surfacing during this time because of the twin flame connection. That's just anything negative you're telling yourself about it. Like, you know, anything negative that you're telling yourself about yourself, your twin flame, or the overall connection. It will come up. It will be triggered to the surface because it's there, I'll say, simmering underneath, right? So some of these energies, because they are energies, can trigger and evoke some very heavy emotions. Okay, you have trust issues. If your twin flame masculine does too, maybe being mirrored back, it just kind of depends. I'll make my little fairy jokes here, maybe with good reason, but we want to get rid of these things, right? So you might have had, and I deal with a lot of people who have been through this, you might have had trauma from your past that has really, really messed up your programming when it comes to relationships. So you might, people that have been through, I call it betrayal trauma, trust trauma, things like that, they have a hard time trusting their partner, obviously their person, and the universe. Lack of trust creates control issues, and we just talked about the foundation of toxic relationships being trying to control the other person and what they're doing, who they're with, who they're talking to, what they're doing. This is like the worst version of hypervigilance, right? So maybe, and Twin Flame helps us to work out these underlying issues in some way, and this could look like, you know, really triggering that in some way. Issues that come up. Some of you guys are healing with this connection, certain themes around control, trust, whatever it is, okay? So like if you're super control freak, this person's not going to play into that. And it might even trigger these issues to the surface and make you aware of them. And I see that huge with those that think that things are not going their way. Like a lot of people will plan it out. I want them to do this and this on this day, and like they don't show up or whatever, okay? So there's some type of issues that are coming up because you're needing to have more trust in this situation with yourself. So when we don't trust our partners, we really don't trust ourselves on some deeper level, or we may have had past, you know, issues that have triggered that or whatever it is. So some of you guys have had not great relationships in your past, and you might be but you may be bringing these themes into the new, not trying to, because you haven't healed enough. And so this goes down to many different reasons, okay? So we have, make sure you're being more mindful of your energy, especially the more visible you are, the more you're peopling, the more you got to sort through the peopling. Some of you guys have been a little bit in the hermit mode, and this is probably from a lot of the high energies coming in. You kind of crave more solitude, alone time, and that's okay. As you are peopling, being very mindful of your energy exchanges. Each connection's an energy exchange, and you know, just being mindful because you're going to be meeting new people. Yes, 2026, I'm early. Okay, you're going to be meeting some new connections, and this is important that you are getting rid of these trust betrayal issues because you're needing to open up and trust people again, because it is going to be the people around you that are taking you to that next level, by the way. And so some of you guys in the hermit energy, it's like you're okay by yourself, but you get stagnant. The universe will send the right people to help you. Yes, this is a twin flame reading. I mean, with your twin flame situation, that the universe will send the right people in that will help you on your twin flame journey to help things get you where you need to be with it. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so Virgo moon. This is where you get organized. You've been planning everything out. Okay, you need to get a plan with your manifesting. It doesn't matter if it's like getting that vision board going. I like the vision board because it's like it really can help you with staying on track. So this is like, you might want to get a vision board going. You might want to really do that inner work and really focus on the manifesting end of things. And you're in it for the long term of where this is taking you. This could be laying down goals. Now remember, this is why we have to do the inner work. Like, there's no workaround for doing the inner work. So when we release the blocks, change our thoughts, change our internal programming, we change what we're creating, manifesting, and how we're kind of, I don't say operating, how we're kind of moving through life. And so that's an important part of this too. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this because this is like pointing out some of you guys have been through a lot with your person, with your twin flame. We talked about previous connections having shaped possibly what's gone on with your twin flame, because that's what this read is kind of going into today. So maybe, you know, you could have already been wired up that, you know that I had something happen to me in my past. I'm a little closed off, or, you know, I'm always looking for something. And usually I've pinpointed like looking for excuses this person is going to leave me. It's abandonment trauma. And this can be for many reasons. It could be people treating you badly in your past that you dated, people leaving you, even though you were, you know, doing a lot for them. We talked about that to keep them happy. And then some of it is even like with the parent stuff, okay? Like death, loss, parents went through a hard time. It depends, okay? So you've been through a lot with your twin flame. You might be having a really hard time trusting this person for some, or this could also be trusting this connection in some type of way, okay? So you've been through a lot of heartache and loss. Despite that, you're someone who loves to romanticize your past. I see this as another toxic pattern, like people that literally try to pivot to past partners, not the flame past partners, that you know they weren't very good for you. In your head, romanticizing things like, you know, that the connection ended because it wasn't healthy for you with the karmics, but maybe you're romanticizing these previous connections. You're a very nostalgic person, but sometimes you get lost in I call it Delulu fantasy, in the fantasy realm with past partners. Okay, so with Ascension, you're going to have to go back into things. With Twin Flame, it's going to bring up I don't say everyone else, it can bring up past relationship stuff, okay? So when you're sitting there thinking about a connection of your past, is not to go back to it. It's already happened. It's already gone, we hope, right? And it's to process things. And at this level of awareness, I think I had someone say this morning, like, I'm just seeing this stuff now. Okay, energy's rising on planet Earth. We're becoming more aware, and we're also having to integrate things from our past that we haven't healed fully or still maybe kind of open to. So you're going through a huge karmic purge because of your twin flame and the mirroring effect, okay? This is to help you to clear blocks, patterns, distortion faster, but sometimes it doesn't feel like that. And it might feel like you've been moving through something karmic with your twin flame, or having to deal with old feelings, emotions, patterns from your past that are coming up because of this. For some, it could be literally karma. And I love this because it's different for everyone, but some of you guys might have not had the best foundation with your twin flame. There might have been some type of karma around it that's coming to the surface to be dealt with. Okay, so you are blossoming, and I love this. This connection will make you blossom and bloom, okay? Don't get hung up on the negative. Yes, there's a lot of healing, we know that, but your frequency is shifting, you're raising your frequency, and I think everyone can tell. Like, right? If suddenly people's animals are walking up to you and children and people want to be around you and you have other people chasing you, it's like, okay, you're becoming much more magnetic in a good way. And this is like, out of those wounds that we're talking about, you need to go back into and heal. Out of those painful areas, it feels sore, it feels painful. When you can go in and you can give that healing energy, self-care, this is where you blossom and bloom out of, okay? This is where the roots lie. And so sometimes we have to go into things that don't feel great. It might just feel like you're going through a really uncomfortable time in your life. You have a lot of healing, it's reflecting areas that, you haven't been honoring yourself or whatever it is. But there's something good coming out of this, literally, with yourself. And that you're going through a lot of activation at the same time, which is very, very powerful. This is why all of the old stuff surfaces to be cleared out, to be cleansed out. This is why I always say energy healing is going to help you the most with this. And I find this, some of you guys also need to get this out. Like, you might be having a hard time talking to people, because I know, like, a lot of twin flames, I probably can't talk to anyone about this except actual twin flames, because a lot of people, like, you might find you're losing friends and family along the way or whatever. It's all right. But some of you guys might have a hard time because people don't understand you and they're kind of, not understanding how to, whatever, go into this. So some of you guys need to, like, get this out and to heal certain things coming up for the Divine Feminine. You have a soul contract with this person. You're meant to be doing some type of soul mission. And so toxic connections are like, you both kind of lay up and don't do much in life and, it goes bad. This connection is meant to take you to new places with your soul mission. You actually contracted to do some type of soul assignment, some type of soul mission, some type of, purpose that's so big and powerful for this planet. And so you made certain soul contracts. That's why you woke up. Why do you think everyone's asleep and you woke up during this time? And this has a lot to do with your twin flame contract of how it is playing out. You may feel that it pushes you at times, and this is how I describe twin flame. It will push you way past your comfort zone. When you think you're there, it's going to push you more. And that you have to trust the universe as well in this process, because it's literally trying to awaken you to your greatness. And I find for the Divine Feminine that the more that you can focus on your soul agreements, your mission, what you should be doing, your purpose, sharing your gifts, this is going to bring such a powerful energy and frequency into your twin flame connection too. Now, sometimes I see this struggling because I know a lot of people see this about themselves, like, I should be doing this, I should be helping the planet, and they might not know how to get there, if that's you find me, right? Okay, anyways, or nudging the masculine to do it with them and they're not ready. Some of you guys are going to have to start your mission first. and you're going to have to do that work to inspire this person. And so this is powerful too. So you have some type of soul contract with this person. For anyone feeling they're a little bit in limbo, and kind of, okay, where am I at with this? There is still, person watching this, there's still a contract. There is still an agreement with this person. It is going as it should, but it's supposed to be sparking and igniting, kind of activating something in you too. And so a lot of you guys, what happens when you go through the twin flame journey, I hope you turn to the healers, right? You turn to people that can help you with this. You get a lot of tools. You learn how to do this. You master it yourself. You come into union, and then you can probably help other people going through this process because you know what to do, right? And so sometimes out of that healing that you're needing to do, amazing things alchemize out of it, okay? So you're being guided to focus on your soul mission or your purpose. I think it starts with your gifts and what you're meant here to do, what you're here to do. And I can always remember this process. I kind of wrote about it a lot in the books I write, and I was talking about it from my own awakening and what was happening with me. So really getting down to the basics of like, what are your spiritual gifts? What are you good at? Working with these gifts will help. So make sure you're staying grounded right now. For this reading, you have a lot of old stuff coming up. Some of it is previous relationships, heartache from the twin flame. We said trust issues, but root chakra survival patterns. You have a lot of ways that you're still operating in the old and out of fear. And generally what happens in most connections, when you go into the fear, your twin flame will play it out or play it back to you from your mind, okay? So some of you guys are at this space where I should say everyone, but some of you guys are at this space where you're manifesting that next chapter or the next, I don't call it a series, the next space moving forward. So you might be in a little bit of a reflective energy right now, thinking about, where you're going moving forward. You're going to be celebrating soon. And like, this is my union card too. Okay. So for some, you might feel like you have a lot of stuff in the middle. This could be outside situations, energies. It's okay. It's all part of the divine plan, no matter how it's unfolding. And because this is, when it's in reverse, it's like my third party energy, but this is a very, very, there's some really positive energy moving into your union and into your connection as you're healing certain things. So if problems arise, it's meant for us to like look at it and heal it in some type of way. This is my 9 of Cups. This is once again confirmation. You already know that. You don't need it. Confirmation of the connection with things. Generally, the best way to confirm the connection is through the universe or your twin flame too. But this is like getting what you want, staying focused on I keep saying this, the manifestation work and aligning with it. Sometimes if we have not got our manifestations yet or they haven't arrived, we need to get into a greater alignment with what it is that we're desiring or asking for and kind of doing that, I call it spring cleaning work today. I know it's the autumn, right? But being guided to kind of clean out your life of anything kind of in the way of this union. So we have this new beginning energy, and I love the Fool because it's like, I say he, but it could be either. He is starting that journey in some type of way. This is my starting over again, and this is exactly what twin flame might be doing to you right now. It's encouraging you to start over. Generally, it's different for everyone, but you're kind of together, and then you might even go through spaces solo before you come into full like union, okay? And that's okay. I feel it's so you can get a really good foundation with your own energy at those spaces, I say. Now, this is like starting over again. And some of you guys are literally right now. You could have already, like in your life, like you might have had reset moments. I know a lot of people that went through those relationships we were talking about and like lost everything, right? Like literally went through a lot of connection that wasn't great for you, or it could have been tower moment, it could have been life, it could have been spiritual awakening, or even the twin flame journey. Some of you guys are literally starting over again, and it shows, but you're building right this time. Like you have so much knowledge, wisdom, experience, and this is a powerful place. Now, some of you guys might have already done that. I call it a reset. You might have already done that reset, but we feel those vibrations coming up very heavily through the collective right now of like literally starting over and rebuilding your dream life. So we have the 8 of Swords, and this is all the ways that you might be, I call it blind to the connection. And once again, it's just feeling trapped or stuck. It's just being stuck in your own head and in your own mind. And then realizing that the external is always a reflection of the inner state. So we have to do that inner work to shift out of fear-based thoughts, negative thoughts, thought forms that feed on those thoughts, things like that too. And so some of you guys in this space, you have old fear and anxiety. This could be for different reasons. Some of you guys are struggling with, if in separation anxiety and having to kind of feel that in your field. Some of you guys, it's old fear coming up from the frequencies are rising, and as we're being bombarded with a lot of energies, it brings up that old fear to clear. There's some type of clearing work happening as we talked about today. So stay out of the fear. Know that you're supported, guided, loved through this experience. This is to get you to greater love by clearing out everything that isn't love, like negative thoughts, feelings. So you might have a lot you're dealing with. Some of it is based in old family wounding. If so, just kind of trying to stay out of that, trying to heal what's coming up for the Divine Feminine. We're going to do a reading for the Divine Masculine just to see what is going on. This one wants to come out, so we will keep it. Okay, let's see what is going on for this person. Divine Masculine. Okay, we have make the effort, and I love this because I think it's really, really an important part of things, especially healing things. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Follow your inner guidance with things. Really follow your inner guidance during this time as you're navigating this. Make sure you're putting effort into this connection. So for the Divine Feminine, you're leaking. Sorry. You need to fill your cup. For some, this might just be you have nothing left to give. You're a little empty. You're needing to look at some cracks in your cup, your chalice, right? And like those are the wounds and fill those in, right? So, and I love it because this reminds me of being shown in my head. We have these Japanese vases that break, right? And they fill them in with the gold and they piece them back together. Like I dropped the vase, right? And they literally put it back together. That's a lot of what's going on with the Divine Feminine. You might still have some little cracks that you're tending to, old wounds. As you're bringing that golden healing energy and weaving that into your field. So for Divine Feminine, being guided to fill your cup. For this Divine Masculine, you're being guided to fill, I don't want to say your feminine's cup, but to really channel positive energies into this connection. For some of you might be taking too much out of the connection and depleting your Divine Feminine and needing to balance that, or needing to like show up, put more effort in, be consistent. It just kind of depends. So be mindful of your energy exchange right now with your Divine Feminine Masculine. You're being guided to maybe reciprocate or pour a little bit more energy into this. Make sure you're not depleting the connection, because a lot of times it's how we're kind of wired up. You're being guided in that way. So maybe being guided to just really show up for your Divine Feminine in some way, but it's the connection overall. Okay, this isn't for everyone, but some of you guys are in separation and time apart from your person is on the horizon. And I always can tell, because usually it's not for everyone, but when you start having disharmony, you're not in alignment, you're not getting along, painful issues coming up, this can indicate separation. Usually you guys know that. Even in separation, you tend to get a lot of updates, whether directly from this person or from other people telling you things going on. You know what's happening, okay? Some of you guys are healing separation issues and wounds between you and your twin flame. It just kind of depends. This could be reasons you feel you are not ready for full union yet, or even those, I'll call it awkward spaces that you're kind of apart and having to deal with that, okay? So it's like for this person being shown, you might even be navigating two timelines or two realities, maybe one solo, one with your twin flame when you're hanging out. It just kind of depends. True love, this is the romance of a lifetime, and you know this. And like I have so many people ask questions like, and expecting everyone to be the same. Like, okay, everyone just stays together with their twin flame. Obviously, that's the goal, right? It's very painful to not. However, just reminding you guys, you separate from your twin flame to come to Earth, and when you leave Earth, right? Like there are times that you're going to be probably with this person and fighting this person, and there are times you're going to be apart, right? So we go through these spaces, especially in the larger scale of many, many lifetimes. Right where you're at right now is just a tiny sliver of a much bigger tapestry, as we call it. So the goal is to literally iron out any issues and to heal any issues so that, yes, you can stay in alignment. And as long as you're in alignment with yourself, you should be golden, right? So staying in alignment with yourself is key to be in alignment with this union. And so the problem is that there are things that can make us fall out of alignment with ourselves. So self-alignment is powerful to help with this. Obviously, yes, I don't, most twin flames obviously do stay together. You don't go through all this work to not. And to make that ascension together, that's what's coming up for us in our lifetime, the ascension, which is going to continue to amp up, we'll say, especially going into the way I see it, like the early months of 2026 and everything like that too. So you're being guided to take back your power. You are a leader, you are a protector, you are a provider. And to really be showing up in that divine masculine energy and to healing anything that's been putting you anything but that. Okay, so we have a lot of new beginning energy, but these cards are backwards, so we'll say there's a little bit of a block there. This is my reset. You're being guided. Maybe you've had to go through some type of shifts lately, a reset for your life or your situation. Maybe there's something blocking that, and it could be different reasons of that. Like you're being urged towards this new beginning, but it hasn't fully materialized yet, which is okay. You're super magnetic and manifesting easily what you want. A lot of this might be the twin flame connection too. When you really learn to work with that energy, it is powerful because it is here to heal and change the world. Like literally, right? Twin flames are powerful together, and that's why that energy is so strong. You're meant to be channeling it into your purpose, the greater mission we talked about for the divine feminine. So this masculine is finding out that you're manifesting, and you're manifesting a lot, but there might be some type of block here. When you're apart from your twin flame, you might be struggling a lot, and this is my suffering in silence. You might not be telling your divine feminine that, but like if you're apart a lot, you're not liking it, you're going through your own awakening or your own things in life that are really coming up heavy during this time. Some of you guys might be in actual separation. Some of you guys just when you're apart, you might be struggling with it. Okay, some of you guys are healing also from karmic situations where you might have met this person and thought they were the one, your karmics, and they turned out to be a karmic or a soulmate or just another lesson or whatever it is. You're also healing from things from your past. This connection is very different than the connections that you're used to, which is okay, but it's very intense. And how you can tell with this connection is it's activating your Kundalini, but it's also bringing the karma to the surface. We talked about clearing karma as part of this, that it tends to bring it to the surface or trigger it to the surface. So you might have some karma that you're still trying to resolve or heal in your lifetime, and that's like literally our lessons. You might be having a lot of karma surface fast, hard lessons, or things between other connections. Sometimes it's with romantic partners, sometimes it's with our friends and family or whatever it is too, because you're going through a huge rebirth, and this is like, it's all about freedom. And I've had this card twice. It's all about taking back your freedom and taking back your power with what's coming up for you during this time. Really stepping into your masculine energy, empowering yourself. So this might be a really hard path that you're on, but you're being guided and supported by spirit. This is opening up new doors, but maybe this isn't easy. Like a lot of people think awakening is easy, not like you literally have walked through so much, you've had to heal so much, you've had to go into places people don't want to go into and look at, and like this is like very, very deep stuff right here, okay? So you've been going through a lot, and this twin flame has been triggering a lot within you too. A lot of growth very fast. It's meant to empower you, okay? And to help you step into your power, take back your power in some type of way. Because this is like my past life connection, so there's a little bit of mirroring with the messages. You still have some childhood wounds that you're healing. They might come up like with the twin flame where you're like, oh, okay. So your twin flame is helping you to put together a lot of puzzle pieces from your past of like old things coming up or surfacing, childhood issues, things you've already been through. Okay, this is why I do things like this, but it's no longer serving me. They've been triggering old energies within your system so that you can let go of the outdated, the old things no longer serving you. This person is key in your awakening. Also, the spiritual guidance, your guides are key in your awakening too. We have a lot of other side, like guide energy coming through with this message. Pay attention to the signs, the spirit messages, the intuitive hits that you're getting. This is all a really, really important part of things, because a lot of you guys have been through a lot of partners that didn't love you. They might have used you. They might have been very interested in how they look with you, social status, money, and things like that. You're coming out of that. Like, you might have even felt like, you were with partners and you felt they didn't love you even. And this was needing to love yourself more so that you can reflect that energy. We think we pour it all into the other person, but we actually heal and learn how to love ourselves, and we radiate, okay? Instead of pouring. So if someone hasn't done that, we tend to kind of, okay. So with this card, you're being guided, maybe for the first time ever, maybe not, maybe you're working on this for a while, but you're being guided to really, really master self-love and how you feel about yourself so that you're in a better state so you can bring better energy moving forward. You've had some dead-end connections. I don't know how else to say, right? And that's okay. You might feel like this is the first person that has fully seen you, your divine feminine, and just loves you no matter what. They see the cracks. They see the problems. They don't even care. You might feel like this person is like a lot deeper, like if you had superficial connections, as we talked about, okay, very karmic. So we love to think it's like fate and destiny with these karmic partners and people. They're actually rooted in karma. So this is why you can feel really strongly about someone. And when that karmic lesson, energy, or whatever has worn off, guess what? You don't feel the same about the person. You're going to look at them differently, right? Okay, that's how it is with the karmic. So you've had other relationships, but you might feel they were more karma-based with this reading of why you were matched up to teach you certain things. Take the lessons, leave the rest right now. But this is a good thing too, because while we have this and it's coming up again, so like it's like really trying to get your attention. Two of Cups, which is like you had people that didn't match your attraction. They didn't maybe love you back. They might have had their own issues. You might have been through a lot in the realm of your romantic relationships, but you are ready for love. You are open. Your twin flame has stirred or activated that in you. And for a long time, you might have thought that was okay. The relationships with these other people, the karmics of your past, they were teaching you things, but it was like you're in different dimensions. You're not seeing eye to eye with these people. You might have tried to like have some deep conversations with them, and it was like, okay, they don't get me, they don't get that, whatever. I see that a lot with like the awakening, asleep divide. Like if you're someone that's doing a lot of work and they weren't, there could have been a problem with the awakening. It just kind of depends. So this is coming up that your divine feminine has like awoken you in some ways and has kind of stirred up a lot, because right now your luck has changed. Your destiny is shifting. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It's always my favorite. And of course it's upright because it's not the best blocked, right? So it is upright. And I always joke around like I'm not into obviously games, but you spin the Wheel of Fortune like at a casino place, and it's going to be like you win or you don't. Okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune. It's your karma being served up in some ways, but also it's my favorite. It's the forces of the universe, destiny. It's the destined events that are going to happen. So for this divine masculine, you're still clearing the karmics of your past. Hopefully they're gone and whatever, but you're healing things from what you've been through. And maybe you're hesitating to open up, but you are opening up. Your twin flame may be bringing up old unhealed things that you thought you processed, and it's like bringing it up again. It just kind of depends. But with this Wheel of Fortune kind of message coming through, there's going to be some big changes that are coming at you. Some destined events, things that are destined to play out and unfold. Yes, I mean with your twin flame in a positive way. So over the next couple of months, for those putting in the work, you're going to see some really positive shifts with your situation. For some in separation, you're going to run into them and, have these experiences where they're suddenly coming into your awareness and you're like literally running into them, seeing them, they could reach out to you. For some in union, this is going to be like, oh my God, everything is coming together that we've been working on and like going to that next level together. So this is the universe is working very, very hard behind the scenes to help you with your situation. So when you're getting that direct guidance from the universe, they're like, I need to heal this, I need to work on this. People get stuck in separation, like that's it. I'm always like, okay, that's the delulu, that's the ego. And that as long as you're doing, and I don't think we have a choice in life, as long as you're doing what you're guided to do and kind of working through, you're actually preparing for union for those that are in separation. Just know that, okay? Your ego will play tricks on you. We talked about that with the fear. And that's everything you need to go into to clear. And so that was for the other side of things. Now with the divine masculine, some are gonna get that signal it's time, literally in a way, if you're in separation, to make a shift or to do something or whatever. For those in union, you're going to see some really positive energy coming into your life, like win the lotto energy. And I don't mean like, well, it could be realistically. I mean like all of a sudden, like you thought things weren't going your way or you were having a hard time in life, and it's like literally your fortune shifts. And I love this message for today because we're dealing with Jupiter energy, which literally expands everything it's touching. We have Jupiter in Cancer. This is home, family, relationships, right? Healing, and like literally. And I love that energy. Okay. Anyways, so we have that very positive energy coming at you. You're going to be noticing some sudden shifts with your situation. So if you feel a little down, hopeless, I don't know how I'm going to do this, that's going to all change and transform. Things are really going to begin to come together, and in a very destined way that only the universe can move certain things. For some, you might feel like, oh, I don't know. The universe is going to step in a way that only the universe can. It's going to help open up your crown. It's going to help open up your faith and trust in the universe more for the divine masculine. Okay, I'm going on that note. Have a beautiful day. If you're unsure about your situation, need some clarity, need a shift, make sure you're booking me on my website, sparksofdivinelightshealing.com. Have a beautiful day. I am around for healings. I have some amazing ones up today.